This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Could more changes be coming to your child's school? What we know about the nearly $1 billion bond being talked about for Austin schools.
And a very dangerous robbery. Thieves grabbed several firearms from an Austin gun store, including a fully automatic machine gun. Now police need your help catching these guys and the reward they're offering.
And a London high-rise turns into a disaster. A massive fire tears through the entire 27-story apartment building. We'll hear from those impacted by the tragedy.
Well, good morning, and thank you for watching KVUE News Daybreak. It's 5 a.m. I'm Yvonne Nava.
And I'm Brandon Jones, in for Brian Mays. It is Wednesday, June 14th. We want to get right to our top story right now. This is out of London, where flames engulfed a high-rise apartment building. And
this is a live look right now at the building. As you can see, it is just smoldering right now, a lot of smoke. You can see a lot of charred debris there. Officials say there are a number of fatalities. That exact number is unknown at this time. As ABC's Molly Hunter reports, witnesses say almost the entire tower was burning within an hour, leaving very little time for people to get out.
A raging inferno high above London. Overnight, incredible images flooding social media. Flames shooting from an apartment complex.
It's just like a waterfall on the left-hand side of fire and flames, but now it's spread all to the right of the building, that part there.
The fire stretching 27 stories high, flaming debris raining down on the streets below, and ash covering everything for more than 100 yards away. This morning, witnesses saying there were signs of people trapped inside, makeshift ropes seen hanging from the windows.
Man put a rope of all his handkerchiefs on.
British police now pushing everyone away from the scene due to fears the building may collapse. This man saying he got out of the building after a neighbor banged on his door and woke him up.
There was smoke everywhere. There was people downstairs, there was bits of the block, the cladding falling off the block, people screaming after a couple of minutes because obviously people were still sleeping on the higher floors, so they didn't have a clue what was going on. I'm not even sure if half of them got out, to be honest with you. There was kids at the window, there was people flashing their phone lights just for help.
This morning, as the sun rises, the horrifying extent of the damage is visible. The building completely charred and still smoldering.
Now, this is actually as close as we can get to that building. We're hearing creaks and thuds, even bangs from inside that building. Police down on the ground are screaming, "Get back!" The real fear, of course, is that that building will collapse. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
London fire officials say an engineer is at the scene actually monitoring the stability of that building right now.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do. Of course, this is still an ongoing situation. And of course, we will continue to update you on air and online as we learn more information. Well, the AISD board will be making a decision today on how much money they want to ask taxpayers for this November. The issue, should it be more or less than $1 billion? KVUE's Jay Wallace joins us live to explain why this not only matters for these schools, but for your wallet as well. Jay, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Well, that's one key part is the school district does say there are a lot of changes that need to take place to their schools. There are many items on the table when it comes to this bond, and here's the pitch that they're going to be talking about tonight. Part one would add 14 new or remodeled schools and many changes to others, and that would cost just under $1 billion. But this is where things get tricky in regards to that $1 billion mark. Part two of the bond is about $410 million worth in projects, including a move and expansion of LASA High School, a new middle school in Northeast Austin, and some revamping of existing schools like Old Anderson High School. But those aren't on the table right now, as that $410 million number, that would push the total over $1 billion, causing Austin tax rates to increase.
We've now gone around and said, okay, we want to have a majority have said one proposition, no tax rate increase. Now the question is, how do we fill that jar up? How do we fill that? How do we fill that up? And do you want to do it by putting some sand, big rocks first?
And AISD has said that if they are able to keep the bond under that $1 billion limit, the tax rate for citizens of Austin will not go up. Beyond that, the property tax rate would increase depending on how much over it goes. In an earlier plan that called for a $1.5 billion bond would have cost people with a home value at $200,000 about $60 more on their taxes. And while the board will make a decision on that number today, there will still be a final vote on the actual bond this upcoming Monday. And then the voters will have the final say in September. Live in Austin, Jay Wallace, KVUE News.
All right, Jay, thank you. 5:06, President Donald Trump says he is pleased with Attorney General Jeff Sessions' testimony. Yesterday, Sessions testified in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He called claims that he colluded with the Russians an appalling and detestable lie. Senators pressed Sessions about a possible meeting with the Russian ambassador, which he denies.
If any brief interaction occurred in passing with the Russian ambassador during that reception, I do not remember. Recently saw a video of him coming into the room.
But you never remember having a conversation or a meeting with Ambassador Kislyak?
I do not.
Well, Sessions also refused to talk about his conversations between himself and President Trump before firing FBI Director James Comey.
A nationwide manhunt this morning for 2 Georgia inmates who shot and killed 2 correctional officers on a prison bus yesterday morning. Police are looking for Donnie Rowe and Ricky Dubas. Police say the 2 men broke through a locked barrier and attacked the 2 officers on the bus.
They need to surrender before we find them. I saw 2 brutally murdered corrections officers. That's what I saw. I have their blood on my shoes.
Well, authorities say the inmates are also armed. They also believe that they are traveling in a green Honda, which they stole from a man yesterday. The men also broke into a home in Georgia, and police believe they may have changed clothes. Well, there's a new judge in the securities fraud case against Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Harris County Judge Robert Johnson was randomly assigned to the case yesterday. Paxton's lawyers requested a new judge earlier this year after the trial moved out of Collin County into Harris County. Paxton is accused of defrauding wealthy investors into a tech startup.
A 508, an East Austin church pastor is still in jail this morning on $300,000 bond. Ruben Garcia is accused of sexually assaulting a child in Hays County. He is the associate pastor of Iglesia Bautista Betania. New court documents claim he first committed the sexual assault in July of 2013 with a girl under the age of 17 and did so again in July of the next year. Garcia has also been indicted on a count of indecency with the child. KVUE asked the Hays County District Attorney why it took years to arrest Garcia.
I can't tell you exactly why it happened in this case, but in child abuse cases, there's often a delay between when the acts occur and when an outcry is made. So quite frequently, child abuse cases are prosecuted years after the events have actually happened.
We contacted Garcia's East Austin church, but no one was available for comment. Austin police are asking for your help this morning. There's an $11,000 reward for information that can help police find the men who broke into the ATX Armory gun store on Roxy Drive this week. You can see the pictures. They're quite clear. They stole several firearms, including a fully automatic MP5 machine gun. These guys left in a 4-door sedan. If you know anything, please call police.
Austin's favorite summer tradition is back. The second Blues on the Green concert of the summer is tonight at Zilker Park. Grupo Fantasma and Hard Proof are performing. The concert is free and starts at 8. And you know, Erica, this will be a great night for a concert, but it's going to be a little hot out there, right?
Yeah, it'll still feel like we're in the 90s at that time. Want to show you this hour-by-hour forecast on how you can plan out your day. Notice the last box, it does say 8 p.m. That's the forecast that you can expect. 89 degrees, but feel like temperatures in the lower 90s because of heat index values. So there's your forecast if you're planning to go out and enjoy the concerts tonight. As for this morning, though, all is quiet, minus a few sprinkles that we're seeing for our eastern counties. It's really just because of lots of low-level moistures out there. Wouldn't be surprised if you're not even really seeing that rain touch the ground. So we're not expecting much in terms of rain shower chances today, but your rush hour forecast is going to be quite toasty. Warm and humid this morning. Heat index values of 103 degrees this afternoon. Make sure you're staying cool and hydrated. And on top of that, try to reduce your exposure to the sun today. The UV index forecast is in the extreme category at 11. As you head out the door, don't forget to put on that sunscreen. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. Well, still ahead, a tip jar snatched from a local restaurant.
Yeah, we showed you this video yesterday. A driver for the popular delivery service Favor here steals it right from the counter, while the owner of the restaurant says he won't call the police.
And an American student imprisoned in North Korea for more than a year returns home in a coma when his parents learned about his condition and who's taking credit for his release.